The team at ATG wanted to put together a short video discussing your options when it comes to filling prescriptions from your routine generics all the way up to your specialty medications. You always have options, and knowing that they're available is the key with navigating the best way to fill those prescriptions and finding the best pricing. This short video will help explain what options are available to you, how they work, and the best way to navigate your pharmacy needs. The most commonly used, and the one that you're likely most familiar with, is utilizing your medical plan and presenting your medical card at the pharmacy or contacting the mail order service through your Blue Cross Blue Shield medical coverage. With using your medical plan, the tier level of the medication that you're prescribed is going to determine the copay of that drug. Remember, if a drug that you need is not covered or a prescription is more expensive than you anticipated, you do have options both outside and within the Blue Cross plan. If you'd like to find out which tier your prescription falls before going to the pharmacy, you can utilize your member services number, you can use your Blue Cross member portal, you can get access to the plan pages through Navigator, and from there there's a drug search tool which will tell you exactly which tier the drug falls into, and then you can know what to expect to pay when you fill it at the pharmacy. Now let's review the options that are available to you. The most familiar process is physically taking a prescription or having a prescription called in to a retail location. Whether it's CVS, Rite Aid, Walmart, wherever you typically go to pick up your meds, once a prescription has been handled by that retail pharmacy, or if it's been called in directly by your doctor, you're not handcuffed to using that pharmacy. Understand, even when a prescription lands at one of these retail locations, you still potentially have options because that prescription can be transferred to another location if necessary. When you are filling a prescription at a retail location, you can always ask the pharmacist if that specific drug has any coupons or if there are potentially discounts through GoodRx. GoodRx is a common alternative to your own medical plan. Sometimes checking the GoodRx price, it will actually be lower than your copay responsibility through your Blue Cross coverage. Understand that if you do use GoodRx, you will not be getting out-of-pocket credit for that copay because you're going outside of the medical plan. You're absolutely allowed to do so and utilize GoodRx, especially if it's going to save you a decent amount of money on the copay. But remember, the claim is not filed to Blue Cross Massachusetts, and you are going outside of the medical plan to get that discount. If you have monthly maintenance medications, it's always worth checking to see what the cost would be if you do sign up for the mail order program. In a lot of cases, if you have it filled through mail order, it's going to be less expensive than your retail copay, and you have the convenience of home delivery. They schedule those deliveries and make sure refills are available to ensure that you do not run out and there's no gap in your medication. If you're interested in the mail order program, it is handled by CVS Caremark, and you can go again to your member services number, your portal on Blue Cross Mass, or here's the number to call CVS Caremark directly and ask about your mail order options. If you're prescribed a Tier 3 or Tier 4 medication, that is where your cost share is going to be the most significant. You do have options when it comes to high-cost medications. You may qualify for the drug manufacturer program. Sometimes you'll see in TV commercials, for example, it will say, ask your provider or contact AstraZeneca, and you may qualify for assistance with this medication. It's always worth your time to look into these potential manufacturer discounts. You'll be surprised at how high the income threshold is to qualify, and it could potentially save you a lot of money when filling those higher cost medications. When it comes to mail order medication programs, when you're talking to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts member services or if you're utilizing your member portal, anything related to mail order is going to be steered to CVS Caremark. The reason for that is CVS Caremark is the prescription benefit manager directly tied to your Blue Cross coverage. However, there are alternative mail order programs available to you. With a little bit of online research, or maybe you've seen some advertising, you'll see that there are online pharmacies that are becoming more popular. These are just a few examples that seem to be gaining popularity: Amazon Pharmacy, ZipDrug, Capsule, Cost Plus. All of these options are similar to when you utilize GoodRx at a retail pharmacy, in the sense that you are potentially going outside of your medical plan. You have to check with the online pharmacy that you're working with to see if they will work with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts. Again, the savings realized by using one of these programs may be too significant to ignore, and you're absolutely allowed to use a different mail order prescription program, but make sure you understand if you're going outside of your medical plan and whether you're getting out-of-pocket credit or not when utilizing these discount mail order pharmacies. As with any service, please just be aware of the pros and cons of using a third-party mail order pharmacy versus your CVS Caremark mail order pharmacy that is directly tied to your Blue Cross Blue Shield Mass health plan. Certain prescriptions, just like certain medical procedures, can get a little bit more involved and a little bit more complicated with a few more steps than your typical monthly maintenance drugs. When you are prescribed a new medication, it's worth taking the extra few minutes to do the homework and understand where that drug is going to fall on those 4 tiers. By going to the drug search tool, it will also tell you if that medication is subject to a prior authorization or a pre-approval before you can fill the drug. Knowing if a medication requires a prior authorization or pre-approval before you go and try and fill it can save you a lot of headache of getting to the pharmacy and then finding out that additional steps are required before you're allowed to pick up the medication. So again, a little bit of homework and due diligence ahead of time can save you a lot of headaches when it comes to filling that drug. In other cases, you may potentially be prescribed a name brand medication, which is not covered, and therefore you are redirected to be filled with the generic equivalent of that medication. If you already know that that generic alternative does not sit well with you, or if you try the generic alternative and you're experiencing side effects or it's not working for you in the right way, again, you do have options, and you can potentially get a formulary exception to be able to fill that name brand medication because the generic alternative is not working for you. Requesting a formulary exception can start with you either going to member services and explaining that you would like to submit for a formulary exception, or you can ask that your prescribing doctor contact the clinical pharmacy team directly. That number is listed here. If your doctor contacts the clinical pharmacy team, they can explain that the generic substitute is not working for you and it's necessary that you be able to fill the name brand medication. When it comes to your prescription benefits, there's a bunch of great information on your member portal. You can go into Employee Navigator and get to the plan pages that have that tool to search for meds and other information. You have a bunch of great resources there to help you with navigating the prescription benefit of your medical plan. Please remember that if you're having an issue, you do have to notify your HR team and ask for help. We're typically not aware if you're running into issues if you don't vocalize that to the appropriate person so that help can be available to you. Now, whether it's the HR team, the rally agency can get involved. There are a lot of situations where if you're running into difficulties, there is a help available, but you have to ask for it. Thanks for taking a few minutes to review your pharmacy benefit. The goal here is to get you the medications you need in a timely manner as easily as possible. So utilize your resources, ask for help, and take advantage of all the different ways that those drugs are available to you.